Hi, and welcome to episode 5 of Lisburn Distillery TV. I'm Lydia Campbell.
And I'm Colin Hopkins, and today we're going to bring you the latest news, reviews and interviews from Lisburn Distillery Football Club.
In this episode, we'll be looking back at the winning end of 2016 from the first team, as well as looking back at the successful Volunteer Recognition Day at the weekend.
We'll also look forward to this week's important Irish Cup encounter between the PSNI and Lisburn Distillery, and also having a quick review of the Under-17 successful final in the Lisburn Shield.
And finally, we'll be looking at the most recent scores in the doors between the Lydia and Colin Score Forecast Challenge.
So Lydia, the good news is we've successfully made it into 2017. Are you one of these people who makes New Year's resolutions?
I always try but fail after about 3 days, so I haven't even went there this year. But I did see a cracking one from my dad yesterday where it says under his name, help wife more often in 2017.
Okay.
I did wonder about it, and then I realised it was written in my mum's handwriting, so I think it's more wishful thinking from her point of view, but we'll see.
We live in hope.
We'll see what happens. Well, the Whites gave their supporters an amazing end to 2016 with a hard-fought victory over Banbridge Town on Saturday.
And the good news is we have some brief video highlights from that game, including the fantastic goal from Alan McMurtry. So last Saturday saw the Whites finishing 2016 in style with a home win here against Banbridge Town, where the Whites won by 1-0. What did you make of that game, Lydia?
It was really hard fought victory, I think. They're second in the league, coming here to try and catch up with the leaders, and it was always going to be a tough game, but I thought we were very defensively sound. Thought Tony Galbraith in particular made a few cracking saves. Curly and his slop in the centre of defence, I think they were so vital to us on the day, and I think overall I do believe we deserved it, because I think we were very, very solid.
Cracking goal at the end of the day as well, which won the game. Yeah,
it was a super goal, and it wasn't a matter of it, they had all the pressure and we nicked it at the end. It wasn't like that. It was very, very well taken from Curly to Lynch. Perfect ball through to Alan, who just bent it into the corner. It was superb, and it was worthy to win any game.
Yeah, I have to agree. That sets us up in good style for this Saturday's game against the PSNI as well.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? Can we win that one?
Absolutely. I wouldn't put it past us, and you're talking 4 wins in the bounce now, considering before that we were saying, we haven't had back-to-back victories yet, we've been inconsistent. Now we're saying, actually, you know what, we've won 4 games in a row. We were worthy of those performances, of those wins, and anything can happen on Cup Day. That's why it's magic.
I agree with you. Well, that particular game against the PSNI is this forthcoming Saturday. It's a 1:30 kick-off in New Forge Lane, and if you certainly like to come ahead and support the Whites, we'd love to have your support on the day. Looking forward to the game now. We have spoken to Alan McMurtry directly after the game at Banbridge Town, and he gives his thoughts on the PSNI game as well as reflecting back on the Banbridge Town match. Here's what Alan had to say.
Well played today, Alan. That's 3 league games in a row we've won, adding into that a cup match before that. The boys must be really thrilled.
Yep, everyone in there is buzzing. We knew the day it was going to be tough, especially going down there. They beat us 1-0. It wasn't really a good game, but we knew the day that was going to be tough. Thursday night, we trained. Mac told us everyone's got to be on it, and lucky enough, I got the winner.
That's your second game in a row that you've scored. You're now second behind Johnny McCaw. Yeah,
No, that's me joint. I think I'm
joint.
joint.
Is it joint? Is
joint.
it? Well, it's going to be a very tight one that this season, I think, for top goal scorer. Any rivalry in there between the two of you for that?
Hopefully I get there, but we'll see what happens.
Well, next week sees a really important date in the calendar for the club. It's an away game in the Irish Cup against PSNI. How are you feeling about that, considering the run you've launched really good?
We played them in pre-season and they beat us 2-0, but again, that wasn't really a good game. 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, I think I scored, but the way we're playing at the minute, we'll beat anybody. So we're going there next week to get in the next round.
Sure, and happy days. Well played today, Alan, again, and the winner as well. Another big event at the club last weekend was the annual Volunteer Recognition Day. How important do you think volunteers are for a club like Lisburn Distillery, Colin?
$1 million question, and I would say they're priceless, let's be honest about it. I mean, the two things smaller clubs rely on are finance and volunteers. Without one or the other, they really tend to struggle. I mean, finance, we do okay, but we struggle at times. There's no point saying otherwise. So if there's any millionaires out there who want to put a few in, give us a shout. But in terms of volunteers, the guys who are here at the club, we're a small club, but they do tremendous work, and I can't praise them highly enough. And we like to hold this event just to sort of really reward what they're doing for the club.
Yeah, and the man who was in charge of organising the Volunteer Recognition Day was Ged Irwin, and we caught up with him on Saturday just before the event.
Okay, Ged, thanks very much for joining us on Lisburn Distillery TV. Today sees the Club Recognition Day, Volunteer Recognition. Yep. What's that all about?
It started last year, and we thought it was important that the club started to recognise volunteers, the work they do around the club, and it's just a simple get together after the match, tea and coffee and a wee bite to eat.
Okay. I think I prefer to say volunteers are the lifeblood of any club, really.
Certainly, and especially our club. We have such a small fan base that we rely on maybe 24 people. Mm-hmm. More than most clubs would. Do the pitch and just generally clean up around the place, as well as the social end of the club. Okay. Also has volunteers.
Okay. Just on behalf of the club, really just say thanks to Ged for arranging this today. I know it means a lot to the volunteers, so thanks very much for doing that for us.
No problem.
Last time we discussed the forthcoming Lisburn Distillery Under-17 Shield Final, which took place on Monday, and I understand it was a fantastic day out for the club.
Very much so. Good news is that we have to report is that the boys won the final by 2-1 against Lydia Celtic. Wasn't the best cup final, it has to be said, but 2 great goals for the boys, and despite having a man sent off, they managed to hold on to the very end. So well done to the boys of Lisburn Distillery Under-17. It's great to see some silverware back at the club, so well done, guys.
It's now the time in the show where we get the latest score update in the Colin versus Lydia prediction challenge. We've decided to run a little competition between the two of us that sees us try and predict the outcomes of the games in the rest of our division.
Of course, we have a forfeit in play for this particular competition, that if I win the competition, which I will do, at the end of the season Lydia has agreed to wear a Chelsea shirt to present one of the shows, whereas if she somehow flukes the win, I've agreed to wear a Fulham shirt for the duration of the show. So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, and what are the most recent scores, Colin?
Well, after the first week of play, which was last Saturday, I have to say neither of us in the lead. Oh. We've got 1 point each, and that's the scores at the moment. You picked up your point from successfully securing a Dundela win, and mine came from the Limavady win against Newry. So it's 1 point each, all to play for. Okay,
excellent. So we'll have a go at this week and just to see what happens.
This week's fixtures then, there's only 4 games in the Premier Intermediate League this week, so Dundela versus Limavady, your first one. Do you want to go with that one?
Okay, Dundela, going to go for back-to-back wins. I'm going to go 2-1 Dundela.
I think it'll be 2-1 to Limavady. Okay, that one pans out.
Okay, the next game is between Sport and Leisure Swifts and the team we beat at the weekend, Banbridge Town. What are you going to go for?
That's a hard one to call. Sport and Leisure, yes, bottom of the pile. Very hard to beat at their home ground, as we have found earlier in the season. I can see that being a draw, 1 each.
I'm going for a Banbridge victory.
Score.
They're raging after their defeat at the weekend. I'm going to say 1-0 Banbridge.
Okay, Duke. Game 3 is Bangor versus Newry City.
That's a hard one.
Bangor in a bit of a slump at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
As are Newry.
They are. 2-2 draw. Thriller.
Ooh, plenty of goals in that one. Get your money down there. I think I have to agree with you. I think it will be goals, but I have a funny feeling Bangor will come out on top.
Okay.
Bangor to win 3-2.
Flip me. Okay, finally we have Moyala Park coming up against Queens.
Moyola Park against
Moyola.
Queens. What about that? Sorry to people of Moyola Park.
Sorry.
Moyola Park against Queens. Queens once again let me down badly last week, and I think it's a hard old journey to go to Moyola Park and get a result. I'm going to go 2-1 to Moyola.
I was going to say that. I can't do the same scoreline, so nah, that's too boring. That's too boring. I'm also going to go for a Moyola win though, but I'm going to keep it at 2-0.
2-0. We'll keep you up to date next week with how those scores pan out, but I'm still ironing that Chelsea shirt for the end of the season.
Never.
So that's about it from another episode of Lisburn Distillery TV.
As ever, we would like to thank you all for watching, especially those overseas viewers who have already gotten in touch to say how much they're enjoying the show.
Yes indeed, Lydia, it's absolutely unbelievable to think there's people actually watching from Boston and the States, there's people been watching from Portugal, people watching from Scandinavia. Unbelievable, such a small show, but we really do appreciate your support. It really is appreciated greatly.
If you would like to get in contact with the show, we now have our own email address and we'd love to hear from you.
And if you do get in touch by email, we'll try our best to give you a quick mention on the show. That's about it from this week's show then. I've been Colin Hopkins.
I'm Lydia Campbell. Come on, you whites. I think that's funny.